Sunyo Campu, that means divorce camp. It is a Korean reality show where struggling couples retreat to a remote location to confront their relationship issues. It's part therapy, part survival challenge, but super emotionally raw. And there are often clips that go viral among Korean netizens, and people are just up in arms about what people said, and it's really causing people to rethink the state of marriage in Korea right now. And Divorce Camp actually contacted me and Mr. Moon to ask us if we wanted to be on it.
Let it bounce.
Hello, friends and family. This is Megan Moon, aka Tell the Imnidang. And my sister Haile is visiting Korea again for the month. Hello. So as you can see, she is mic'd up. So as I go through this story, she's going to be reacting and or asking questions.
Curious minds, stay alive.
Okay, girl, don't sit down. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I need to tell you about today's partner, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that draws air into your mouth, not your lungs. Fume is a great way to satisfy your oral cravings without any toxins, nicotines, vapor, batteries, none of that. So you can use it any and everywhere. So if you see in here, they just have flavor cores. This one is crisp mint. So you just get a nice minty flavor. It's kind of like having peppermint tea. There's so many flavors to choose from. It's particularly useful because stopping bad habits cold turkey for some people is really hard. So if you are somebody who needs to have hand to mouth action, then this device is for you. Actually, I like twisting it. They sort of also designed it to where you can fidget with it. So if you're somebody who has an anxious habit and you need to be like fidgeting or doing something with your hands, and it also provides that as well. Fume has already helped hundreds of thousands of people to create better habits. And if you order the Journey Pack using my code MEGANMOON, you'll get a free Fume topper, which is a great accessory that will help to level up your Fume experience. Go to tryfume.com/MEGANMOON and use code MEGANMOON, or you can scan the QR code on the screen to try Fume out today. So the show Divorce Camp is hosted by three people. So Chang-hoon, which is my favorite character on the show because his facial expressions, girl, he really has resting bitch face, but like in a good way, because these people be cutting up and they need somebody to give them the side eye. He's a former NBA player, and he is the tell it like it is person on the show. The Simon Cowell, if you like. My second favorite host is Park
Ha-son.
My English and Korean is getting mixed up. And she's an actress, and she has a really good emotional insight, and she especially tells things from a woman's point of view. So she's actually usually on the wife's side, helping to explain the wife situation. And then there's Jin Tae-hyun. He's super handsome, and he was also an actor. And he has to play on the side of the husband to try and explain why the husband's doing what he's doing. And he also drops some hard truths on them because they be cutting up. So if you've seen this show, you know that the drama that these people have is so crazy. It's wild to think that there are people who think that way sometimes when I see the show. So when the show contacted me via Instagram DM, which is how most Korean shows contact people, I don't know, I've been on a couple of shows and they typically always do Instagram DMs. It's like the writers have a separate Instagram account that they use just to find people to be on their shows. So I think with the exception of one, the other shows that I've been on, I was all contacted via Instagram DM. But anyway, so they slid in my DMs. Hey, you don't have to be headed for divorce, but no couple is perfect and every couple has some problems. So you can just come on, even if you don't think you have such big problems, like you should be on the show. So I sent it to Mr. Boone, and then he was like, what are we gonna be on there for? My wife farts, which is really his only complaint. But I'm like, look, I have IBS, okay? Why are you making fun of a sick person?
I got IBS as well.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
the sister's got IBS, so now that Haley's at the house, she be farting too, so there's double farting. And Mr. Moon is like, this a farting sisters. I don't know. Certainly, you can't go on a divorce show to complain that your wife farts because she has IBS. And the only complaint I really have is long Korean working hours. Like, Moon is literally gone all day and then comes home like after I go to sleep. So basically, during the week, I'm on my own with the kids, and then he's there on the weekends. But that's like most Korean homes nowadays. So it's not really fodder for drama for divorce camp. And the one thing that I do know about Korean shows, because I've been on them, is they like to prod and get the most drama that they can out of you. Rightfully so. It's their job. They got to get views. And on most shows I've been on, the writers typically sit behind the cameras with whiteboards and they like write stuff to tell you to do. They're like, ask about this, do that, do this, do that. And so I'm like, look, I'm not trying to have us on there being picked apart. They're probably going to cause more fights being on a show like that. So we respectfully decline. And by decline, I mean, I just didn't reply to the DM because it's DMs. You don't need to reply. But a couple days ago, there's this story that came out. It's called The Diet Couple. They always name the couple something, the so-and-so couple, the whatever couple. This is The Diet Couple. And the husband's name is Lee Seung-hoon. And he's fairly handsome. He's definitely above average. When they walked into the show, which is set up like a mock courtroom, they wanted to set it up to be as if you were actually in court to get the divorce. So they call the couple's name and they walk in. The first thing the host say is, wow, you're so handsome. And pretty tall. He's 186 centimeters, which is very tall in Korea, like model-esque tall. They say, you look like a model. What do you think, Hailey? You think he's handsome?
He's handsome. He's good looking.
Is he more handsome than your favorite person? Who's your favorite person?
Nobody's more handsome than Cha Eun-woo.
Cha
Nobody.
Eun-woo. This girl is obsessed with Cha Eun-woo. We walk around, she sees what's his name? Cha Eun-woo. I don't even know his name. That man on the billboards or on the signs on the wall, she's like, oh my God, it's Cha Eun-woo. Obsessed. He's 33 years old and he's actually a dog breeder. And his wife's name is Chung Soo-young. She's also 33, they're the same age. And his wife is actually a coding lecturer. So in the show, as the couple goes and sits down, they do a short introduction and then typically they show video evidence that the camera crew took when they followed them around for a couple days. And there's two parts. There's usually the husband's evidence and the wife evidence to show why that person is a bad person and to sort of share all the complaints that they have about one another. Now, typically in the show, they always show the side that's bad, but not the worst. So what happens is you watch the first video and you're like, wow, this person's so bad. And then you get to the second video and it's even worse. So you're like, forget about the first one and be like, the second one, you are the bad one. You are the devil. You need help. But in this case, because the husband's video was just so bad and his complaints about the wife weren't really valid at all, they just skipped that whole process altogether and went straight to the bad video. Girl, your blood is gonna be boiling. Are you ready to have your blood boiled?
I'm ready.
I don't think anybody ever says they're ready for that, but hey. So they start with the wife's video. And the wife's video starts with one morning, her waking up at 7:30, and she goes straight to the scale to weigh herself. And her husband is sat on the couch and she says, I have gained some weight. And then it goes into the screen where she shares that at her heaviest weight, she was 102 kilograms. Let me look that up in pounds for you. Mr. Rich's weight, he just said. That is 224 pounds. And for like a small Korean woman, that is a lot of weight. And she goes on to share the reason why she's so obsessed with her weight is because she had to lose weight in order to get with her husband. So her and her husband were a part of this business startup program together. I guess their personalities kind of vibed. But do you know what Lee Seung-hoon said to her?
What did he say?
Because remember, she was 102 kilograms.
Right. What did he say?
I'm not sure to laugh. Yeah, I don't even be friends with fat chicks.
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, but the wife, Soo-young, she says, thankfully, he decided to be my friend because our personalities just match so well. Like in the video, she literally said, 감사하게도, which means like, thankfully, he decided to be my friend.
Oh, no. So you made an exception for her, basically?
Yeah, he made an exception.
Oh, no. Like, you big, but you smart, so we can be friends.
Yes.
Okay.
So one night, after they had been friends for 8 years, they were drinking a little bit, and she was like, 나 너 좋아하면 안 되냐? It's her way of saying, I like you, basically. Like, am I not allowed to like you? Because, they're also friends, so it's kind of coming out of the friend zone.
Right.
So what do you think he said?
He probably said, nah, girl, look at me, look at you.
Look at you, now look at me. He said, 감히 네가 나를 좋아해? The audacity of someone like you to like someone like me. So then it goes to the husband's interview, and he's like, I've dated about 50 to 60 women. They all were very slim, beautiful women. The type of women that men will see you on the street with and all turn their heads and be jealous that you have such a hot chick on your side. It doesn't make sense for a woman to be even over 65 kilograms, which is 143 pounds. So he's like, definitely a woman over 100 kilograms, over 200 pounds, like, is that even a woman? He just openly says in his interview, like, there's nothing wrong with it. He's like, what? And he says, I just sort of saw her as like a fat sort of loser. I'll give you 3 months to lose 20 kg. 20 kg is around 44 pounds. And then he goes on to say, anyway, it's not like you're gonna be able to lose it anyway. So if you lose 20 kg in 3 months, then, I'll think about it. She said she got angry. I was so angry that he would say that I can't even lose that weight. So in 1 week, girl, she lost 6 kilograms. 6 kilograms, which is like 13-ish pounds or so in a week. So basically, she just wasn't really eating that much at all. And she came back and she said, look, I lost 13 pounds this week. And he was like, okay. There's potential there. So what do you think happens?
He gave her a chance? Hopefully.
Yes, but what kind of chance do you think he gave her?
He took her on a date, hopefully.
No, he said, okay, why don't you move into my house?
Uh-oh.
And I'm gonna make sure that you lose that weight. So they were like temporarily dating. But he said, I cannot say that I won't be tempted by more beautiful girls outside.
She gotta love herself.
I feel like he doesn't have a filter. Like, even if you're thinking that, okay, she's too fat for me, maybe there's other pretty girls outside, I might be tempted to like date while you're here. It's like, you still decided to move her into your house. Which is wild to me because they're not officially dating. It's like a temporary dating thing where she's supposed to move into the house and then like try and lose weight. And if she loses weight, then they could be together. So while she was in the house with him, she was doing everything, waiting on him, hand and foot. In the morning when he got up, she went and brought him some water. When he came home from work, she had the food all ready and warm on the table. So when he got there, it was ready. And in the evening, if he had a hard day at work, she got aromatherapy oils and she gave him aromatherapy massage, girl. At night, she was a slave for him. Britney Spears. She even said that she would like cut his nails and like everything he needed, she would just do for him. She said, I want this man. And it's so funny because the hosts were saying, what is this, some kind of like drama? This is literally a drama script or like a Japanese anime script where there's like the hot rich guy and the girls want him. So she like does everything for him. I cannot with these people. And there were certain rules that he had in the house. Like, for example, if they were eating food and he was full, then she also had to stop eating and put down her chopsticks too, controlling. And in 3 months, she lost 45 kg, which is 99 pounds, 99.9 pounds. That is 100 pounds in 3 months, 30 pounds a month. That is crazy. I don't know why do you have to do such extreme diet? She said that she was literally eating just like 1 chicken breast a day. Like, that's too much. Like, you gotta know when people lose weight quickly like that, they're gonna put it back on because you don't just suddenly go from eating to be like a 200-pound person to dropping down to 57 kg, which is 125 pounds. She went from 220 something pounds to 125 pounds. That is crazy. So then it went back to the wife's video evidence and it was her continuing that day. Remember, she got up in the morning, she weighed herself, told her husband, oh, I gained some weight. And then she goes to get her clothes on and she puts this shirt on. It's just a blue sweater, like a light sky blue sweater. But she's like, oh, I don't know if this looks good. And she goes to the husband and he's like, you have all those clothes and you don't know how to dress? Like, I gotta go dress you? So then he goes in the closet and it's like, not that one. That one's too frumpy. And he goes and picks out this blue sweater for her, which in my opinion looks very similar to the other one. But he's like, if you wear this one, it looks much better. It looks more clean. If you're gonna be walking around with me, then you need to wear these nice clothes. Now look, I don't care how fine you think he is. There is no man in the world that is fine enough to be living under that kind of control for. I'm sorry. If Ta Eun-woo said, Haile, I'm going to be with you, but you need to be 45 kgs like the K-pop stars. You going to do it?
I'm
Not her thinking.
I had to think.
Not her thinking about it. She was like Ta Eun-woo.
You know, like one of those like once in a lifetime things, but actually no, that's a little too much.
She's living with him. The fact that somebody he's not even dating, he said, move into my house so I can control everything, like that.
A little dictatorship.
And that means that forever you're going to have to stay under that person's thumb, otherwise they're not going to like you. And then it goes into a montage and shows some other times where she was like, how about this? Can I wear this? And he's like, no. Look at what I'm wearing. Does that match what I'm wearing? Like, you can't go out looking worse than me. Like, go out and just have some decorum when you dress. Like, dress nicely. But the outfit she picked out wasn't that bad. It was like a gray, like, sort of hoodie, a nice, comfortable, like, shirt and some jeans. Like, it's not bad. And so one of the arguments that they have often is that she just wants to wear comfortable clothes. And he's like, no, a woman is a reflection of her man. You can't just wear comfortable clothes. Even you're going to the convenience store, you need to dress decently. And one thing he says to her often is, you look like a poor person. You look like a poor person. So he likes to get expensive clothes for her. So this day, as she tried on several outfits and he kept on saying, you look like a poor person, the final outfit she had was pretty good. It was just like a black long sleeve shirt and a long sort of khaki colored skirt. It looked pretty. She looked pretty in it. Even the hosts were like, she looks pretty in it. She doesn't look poor. Koji is the word for poor, like koji. He's like, you look like a poor person. Like, you need to wear nice clothes. Like, you've lost so much weight now. Now you're a pretty woman. Live your life as a pretty woman. Yeah, and he goes to say, the ex-girlfriend that I had that is the most memorable to me, she wore nice clothes all the time. Like, one day she would have a sexy outfit on. The next day she would have a cute outfit on. You know, romantic outfit. Dandy is the word they use in Korean, but I don't know how to say dandy. Dandy. Think about all the styles of clothes that are kind of feminine. And he goes to describe all those clothes and it's like, now you're a skinny person. Now you can live a pretty life, wear pretty clothes, do pretty things. He literally says, do pretty things. 예쁜 짓 하고, which means do pretty things. Like, what is that?
What is, I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that means, but he just is so obsessed with her being pretty. Do pretty things, wear pretty clothes, do this. So he decides to take her to the department store to get her some new clothes. He's like, you can't wear clothes like this in the summer. It hasn't been that long since she's lost the weight, and so he wants her to get new, like, pretty clothes. Be pretty. Why, you might ask? Because he says a man's biggest luxury is not his car, it's not his watch, or whatever other expensive items it is woman, okay? A man's biggest luxury is his wife. So then the hosts start telling him, like, we didn't know that you were so 가부장적이야. Like, 가부장적인 means like sort of the old Korean Joseon dynasty men, right? Where they sort of see women as property. Women have to be pretty, demure, mindful, quiet. You know, it's like, there's a lot of Korean men nowadays who still think like that just because the previous generation was like that. So they learned it from their father. It's literally just one generation removed from that old 가부장적인, you know, culture. So there are still some young people who picked up those values directly from their parents. And you can still find some people that are like that here. Also, like, he believes so much, he's just saying it on camera. Like, yeah, this is a man's biggest luxury is his wife. Come on. So he takes her to the department store, and you might think it's just going to be a nice shopping trip, whatever. If he wants to spoil her and buy her nice, fancy, expensive clothes, and what's the big deal, you know, right? A lot of women might like that. So they get to the store. Your blood gonna be boiling.
Oh, Lord.
Because there are some details that I have not even revealed yet. But so in the clothing store, just a typical looking department store, his wife is not even grabbing clothes. Basically, it's just him picking up clothes and being like, no. No. So she's not actually going and doing the shopping that she wants. And the one shirt that she did pick up to try on, when she tried it on and came out, he was like, pass. In the store, there is usually advertisements up. You know, Korea, there's like advertisements everywhere. And they had like a LED screen up, like next to the mirror. And it had some sort of idol or famous Korean girl, and she was wearing an outfit. So the husband sees that advertisement flash up on the screen and is like, hey, that one, give us that one. Let my wife try that one on. So the advertisement is someone named So Na-eun. I don't really know who she is, but there she is. And he has his wife stand next to the advertisement of this famous person who's probably like less than 100 pounds and hold up the outfit. And then is looking at her and that girl and saying, something's different. You don't look like her in this outfit. In the store next to the worker. And he tells the worker, like just out aloud, the worker is there. And he's just like, a woman should be pretty and wear pretty clothes, like for her husband. The worker's probably like, okay. Probably used to it, if I'm honest, because I've been in the store several times and I've seen situations like this. I mean, it's nice to have honest feedback sometimes, but I think your partner just making you feel like absolute is different than getting honest feedback. So she puts on the next outfit. It's cute. It's like sort of, in Korea they love sets. So it's sort of like a blazer, white crop top, and underneath there is a sleeveless shirt made out of the same material. She comes out and he wants to see what it looks like without the blazer off. And he's like, 살 접힌 거 보인다. I can see like your armpit fat over the side of the tank top. You should go back and put your armpit fat, like try and put it in the shirt and come back out. So the wife goes back into the dressing room and she's like, it's not going in, it's not going in. And he's like, just keep trying. What? Do you have 4 boobs? 가슴 4개야? Yeah, he is going in on his wife's side boob. Like, you know, that's a place where a lot of women are insecure about too, like side boob. And the fact that you come out in this shirt and your husband is talking about your side boob and saying it looks like you've got 4 boobs, put it back in. And the worker is right there. And I mean, I'm not saying it makes it better if you're in private and nobody's hearing it. But to say those things in public where other people can hear them and say them pretty loudly in front of other people is just mind-blowing to me. And then women just have that.
Yeah.
Like even me who's like pretty lean, like if you see here, like look, it's like, bam. You see the muscles, chest muscles popping out. But then look, it's still there. Especially if you've had babies or been pregnant before, right? Because when you're pregnant, you especially grow a lot of tissue here. And now this part is gonna really make your blood boil. His wife is pregnant.
Oh, Lord.
4 months pregnant, which makes this even more infuriating. How can you be telling her pregnant wife that her side boob is showing? You know, she's already going to be insecure about it, especially because she was so heavy and then she got so light and then now she's pregnant. She's probably stressed that if she gains even the slightest bit of weight, her husband's going to have a problem with it since she thinks that women should not be over 65 kg.
Like, where's the grace? She pregnant. What can she do about it?
I don't know. And another thing that the host said that I was thinking too was like, if she's pregnant, she's gonna gain weight soon. Why would you be spending money on clothes, especially because department store clothes are so expensive? He spent 660,000 won on clothes for her during that trip. That is about 600 US dollars he just spent on clothes. Ooh. So Hasun is like, you should be trying to get maternity clothes or whatever. And you know what this fool said?
Oh, Lord.
Well, she used to be 102 kilograms, so her old clothes are the maternity clothes.
No.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
No.
It's like, where's the filter? Like, yes, that is true. Like, maybe it's something you two could talk about in private. Like, hey, you know, at least we could use your old clothes for maternity clothes. Maybe you don't have to buy it. But even still, it's a very sensitive topic I would never bring up, especially I cannot with this man. There is no level of fineness in the world where you can be acting crazy like that. But the crazy thing is you know he's been acting like this all his life and he's been getting away with it because they live in Ulsan. If you move to Seoul, go to Gangnam. You're not a teen, they're over there. Maybe in your little town in Ulsan you are. That's not the end of it, girl.
Oh my.
So in the next part of the wife's evidence video, it's one evening after they've gone shopping and they're just like sort of sat at their business office talking together. And so the wife brings up, you know, think about how you've hurt me in the past, always comparing me to your ex-girlfriends. And he's like, well, yes, of course, because all of my ex-girlfriends were nice, pretty, slim girls. Nobody would ever come and meet me or be beside me without makeup on. I guess his wife doesn't like to wear makeup all the time. Sometimes she just wants to wear comfortable clothes out. But he's like, how dare you try and walk with me outside or be with me and not wear makeup? He uses that word a lot. Kami. 네가 나를 좋아해. How dare someone like you, the audacity of someone like you to like me, the audacity of you to not wear makeup when you're out with me. Don't you know that women are the biggest luxury for men? It just seems like he sees women as an accessory to be with him, something that helps prop him up and make him look good in society. It's like, I'm handsome, I dress nice, so you also need to be pretty, slim, and nice beside me. So you might be thinking, well, why would you even take on a fat chick and help her to become slim to be with her in the first place? Like, just be with a slim woman. He tells us why in his next interview. He says, 예쁜 여자 옷 다 벗기면 다 똑같더라고요. Like, pretty girls, when they take off their clothes, they're all the same. I need to be with someone who's smart and, you know, maybe someone who could be 가정적이야. I want somebody who's smart, who could help, you know, help me run a business or something like that. Host Jang-hoon was like, so basically she made the most money out of all the women that you probably met, right? And he's like, yeah. So basically he wants someone to be beautiful, but also have to make a lot of money, which I think most people would want that, but I guess he figured it's easier to take a smart woman and make her slim than it is to take a dumb, pretty woman and make her smart, I guess. So in that same conversation, on the tape, the wife says, I'm hurt by all the comparing you do of me to other women, always saying I'm the worst of the women that you've ever been with. And he even says this on camera during their conversation, like, out of all the women I've been with, you are the worst. He keeps saying to her, and I'm like, woman, why are you with someone like that? Like, no amount of handsomeness in the world could allow you to afford that kind of behavior. But I think in Korea, especially being overweight is not really seen as being good. So to her, she's like, this is maybe the most attractive man I could get. Like, maybe I can't get a man because I am so overweight and not that attractive. So actually, they also reveal that she's had a lot of plastic surgery on her face because she wants to be pretty and attractive for her husband.
So I guess she feels like she probably just can't do any better. So she's like, this is the best it's gonna get. Maybe every handsome man is like this, so I'ma just take what I can. But he says she's the worst, but it seems like she's like the best yet the worst. Like, she's smart, makes a lot of money, but also like she's big, got this, like, it's like a checklist. Like, you check all the boxes, but then you don't check all the boxes.
So I'm like, if you want to be with someone that's slim, if that's that important to you, just take some more time, find a slim and attractive woman, I guess. But based on his personality, if the woman was like really smart and made a lot of money, she wouldn't really want to be with someone like that if she was pretty and knew that she was pretty too, right? Because of how he acts, his personality is garbage. And even the host, they asked some of the other couples that were in the courtroom watching, like, what do you think about his level of attractiveness? And the consensus was, well, based on how he talks, I don't even know about like if he's attractive anymore. Because when people open their mouth, they can become more attractive or less attractive. And he definitely lost all of his attractiveness. He ain't cute no more.
Not at all.
Not at all. Negative 10 out of 10. And then the wife goes on to say that everything that she does, he makes it about her weight. If she didn't do the dishes that day, he's like, see, that's why you're fat. You ain't doing the dishes. You're being lazy. Every little thing that happens, he talks about it's because she's fat. Or that's why you're fat. See, you didn't do that, that's why you're fat. You didn't do this, that's why you're fat. That has got to be absolutely exhausting. But the most sad part is that she said the reason why she wanted to come on the show was because he talks to her like that every day that she doesn't even feel offended by it anymore. She just feels like it's normal. And that was a wake-up call for her because she was like, she's pregnant. She's like, if we have our kid and our kid hears you talking to me like that, the kid's going to pick up those kind of behaviors. And I don't want them to pick up those behaviors. So you've got to change your personality.
Where her friends at? She ain't got no friends. You tell her, girl, your man is crazy, leave him.
Speaking of friends, when he was back in that program, he had 2 female friends, her and another chick. And he actually goes to meet this chick to talk to her while they are filming their show. So he goes to meet up with a chick that's his friend. I don't know her name. I don't remember if it came up or not. Let's call her Haile, because that's my go-to name for every situation. So he goes and sits down and meet Haile. And I don't know, I feel like the writers had to have prompted this conversation because after all these years, I don't really think it would necessarily come up. But the friend suddenly started talking about like, you're so handsome back then. Like you could even just say whatever crap you wanted to the girls and they would still all be running up to you. Like I didn't even want to have your picture on my Kakao Talk profile because I didn't want my other friends to ask me to set them up on a blind date with you. So I took your picture off because so many of my friends asked to be set up with you on a blind date. So then the husband goes on to say, well, why didn't you? My life could have been so different. And the friend says, oh, are you having a difficult time with your wife? And he's like, yeah. Sometimes I feel like, my life could just be so much better. And that friend's like, oh, you're thinking about your ex-girlfriend, eh? And he's like, yeah, sometimes when I'm having a difficult time with my wife, I do think about my ex-girlfriend. But, I chose her, so it's my responsibility. I just have to stay, I guess. To have that kind of conversation with your female friend when you're married is wild to me. And then the female friend goes on to say, you're so handsome and all this stuff. She's just his hype up crew, I guess. And he's just smiling yeah, I'm so handsome. He's like, really? Was I that handsome? It's just yeah, you were. So the hosts were even like, oh my God, this friend is a problem. Because there's no way in the world that you think you were that handsome that you could just treat your wife like that. But that's not even the most infuriating part. In this same conversation, the wife says, you said to me that you feel embarrassed that you slept with a 90-kilogram woman. And he's like, I said that and what? And his face was so smug. We have got to play the clip.
뭐 그런 걸 한다는 게 자존심이 상한다.
When I first saw that, I really wanted to slap his face. When he was going, it's that was a perfect situation.
Yep.
You can 한 대 맞아. You need to be. And so even the hosts were like, we need to go out and pray. Let's go and pray. I'm going to send you to my sister's church so you can go and pray with her in the morning because you need it.
Only Jesus can fix this.
Girl, it was so infuriating to watch. Like, I've never felt so angry just continuing to watch something. And my whole thought is, why is she putting up with this? Why is she putting up with this? Why is she putting up with this? Yes, so everyone in the courtroom's up in arms. And the other two wives that are there in the courtroom with their husbands, they're also sort of on the heavy side. So the cameraman, he was doing his job. Every time the husband said something about the wife being overweight, he would show the faces of the other women and they're just like. So at one part in the show, the hosts were talking about, how do you have so much arrogance and like confidence? So Chang-hoon was like, I think people like you just from a young age hear that you're so handsome, you're so handsome. And especially in Korea, people really value that. So it's like when you were handsome, even you treat people like crap, people probably always wanted to be around you. So you never learn how to like filter or like how to deal with people. And so he said, someone like me already knew from a young age that I wasn't attractive because my parents told me that I was ugly from a young age. So then the other hosts were like, that's like, Togi Kyoyuk means like early childhood education. So they're like, you got the early childhood education. He was like, so I knew I was ugly. So I was like, 나 열심히 살아야 돼. Like, I just need to work hard and live hard. And he became a famous NBA player. So that worked out for him. And the thing is, when the video actually first started, he said, I don't understand why my wife has an issue with what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why I'm even here. So then they moved on to the husband's side of the video, why he thinks his wife has an issue. And it starts off with her just being at the office. He's in the back, like grooming the dogs. She's on the computer and she's looking up some sort of plastic surgery she wants to have. She was like, I think I want to put a little filler in my lips, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And the husband's biggest complaint is that she seems so obsessed with plastic surgery. And then in her interview, she said basically she's had everything like done on her face, but not too much, because as you can see, her face is still the same from her before and after, but there's just a couple more things that she wants to do. And the husband claims that she's just so obsessed with dieting and with her looks now. And that's a big issue that he has. Now, where would that come from? Because it seems like before she got with you, she was happily just living her chub's life, working. And then she got with you, and you keep talking about how she's not as pretty as the other girls. And one of her biggest fears is that he's gonna leave her if she's not up to par. So she gets those plastic surgeries because of him. So now you done made her like this and you're complaining about it. And his other biggest complaint is that she's no longer smart. You're not smart anymore. And she goes, well, if you've ever tried dieting before and cutting out carbs, I didn't have carbs for 3 months. So that's why I can't think as sharp as I am. And he's like, well, I told you to lose weight, not to lose your mind.
No, he didn't.
Girl, yes. And when you're talking, you'll talk about this and then you move into talk about that. And then you'll talk about this and then you talk about that. Like, you can't even stay on track and form like cohesive sentences anymore. And so she's like, well, it's because I dieted. You've never dieted, so you don't know how hard it is to be focused on diet. So that was his biggest complaint, which is like, don't you see how you're the problem? How you made that an issue? Because you make her feel like crap, and she's the ugliest woman you've ever been with, apparently. And you're mad that she's obsessed with being prettier. It does not compute in my brain at all, if I'm being honest. And his biggest argument that he had towards his wife is really just, so sleeping with a fat woman is like a woman sleeping with a short man. He's like, think about it the opposite way. If I was only 160 centimeters tall, which is 5'2", do you think I would have been able to be with you? Like if I was a short man. So he's comparing it to being a short man, which I guess maybe kind of makes sense. But when you're talking about people that maybe you're not dating, like this is a person who you've married. This is your wife. If you don't like the way your spouse looks before you marry them, then just don't marry them. Marry someone else. I think the issue is not having a preference for women who are slim, because everybody has a preference, right? Like I'm sure everybody, if you were setting them up on a date, most people in their mind sort of have a weight limit that they don't like, right? I mean, same for me. If you showed me some people on certain reality TV shows about being very large and you said you want to go on a date with one of these people, I probably would respectfully decline. I certainly wouldn't marry one, try and make them slim and then keep pressuring them and telling them that I don't like them because they're so fat. That's sort of abusive. And there's some sort of issue that he has where it seems like he just wants to have control over someone else and feels like he's the bigger person or the better person. But then on the other hand, he wants his partner to sort of be up to par with him. But on the other hand, he feels good when he's controlling and putting other people down. And that's sort of something that even the host sort of picked up on. They were like, what you have is not confidence. It's like this sort of controlling arrogance where you only feel good if you're controlling and putting other people down. And I think that's definitely how he is. But despite all that, the wife said that she does want to try and make it work with him. And so at the very last part of the show, what they have is they have both parties share the things that they want from each other. So the couples going forward sort of know how they need to treat one another. And so the wife, the only thing that she really wanted was, I want him to just talk to me respectfully. Like, he can say things, but just say them in a nice, respectful way. And the husband's rebuttal is, well, we were friends 8 years before we got married, so I'm just used to talking to my friends like this. Like, I can't really stop doing that. And so they were actually arguing with what he can and cannot say, because one of the things he likes to call her is pig. It's like sort of a common word in Korea, that pig, 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 teji, 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 teji. So he would often make up like nicknames for her and sort of pick at her by using variations of the word teji. And so in their agreement, he's not to use anything, call her teji in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's literally all she wanted. And what he wanted was, he said, okay, so since you are pregnant, you do need to take care of the baby. You need to eat well and stuff. Like, stop focusing on the diet, because the wife was actually focusing on her diet a lot of the times and like tempted to like not eat that much because she doesn't want to gain that much weight in pregnancy, because she's afraid that he's going to leave her if she does. So the husband said, after you have the baby and whatnot, and your body like sort of heals after the birth, then you need to go back to 57 kilograms. He said, I will allow up to 65, but over 65 you can't be. And that was like a part of the agreement that they had. And people were like, sir, she was only 57 kilograms for a short while because she got pregnant shortly after that. How can you ask someone whose average weight is about 80 kgs to suddenly just live their life at 57? Remember when I said in the beginning, when she first moved into the house with him before they were married, how she was doing everything for him, like even cutting his nails and stuff? He said, I want you to treat me like that again.
Do you
Like,
deserve to be treated like that?
right? Like 3 days a week. And they were like, the wife was like, I can do 1 day a week, where he gets up, she does everything for him, treats him like a king or whatever. The hosts were like, why are you so obsessed with being treated like that? And I'm like, you got to know that that's how his mom was treating him, right? Like, Uriader is like the thing that they love saying, like, my son, especially if your son is handsome. These moms be doing everything like, oh, my little precious son, they've never lifted a finger. I'm going to cut their nails. I'm going to do everything for them. And I feel that a lot of those people, even after marriage, kind of want their spouse to treat them that way. That's why I think you should not be treating your kids that way. Like, that's too much. They got to know how real life is, you know? You treat them well, but you can't be so obsessive like that, where you're getting everything for them, doing everything for them after a certain age at least. And so that's what he wanted. And the wife agreed that she would do the king treatment for 1 day a week. And he said that he would stop calling her pig.
That's it? That's the only compensation he can make?
That's basically how it went.
Thank you for treating me like a king. I'm going to just not call you a pig, and I'll call you anything else.
Exactly. Exactly. And that sort of pissed me off how it is. Really pissed me off. I was like, all she wants for you to treat her respectfully, but you want her to go above and beyond and treat you like a king. Like, that's too much. Too much. And this is the infuriating case of the diet couple. I cannot. But the sad thing is I have run into some people who are like that. I've heard, anywhere you go, people who are super attractive, I'm sure they get a lot of special attention. I'm talking about like the 10s, like the people who anybody see, like the Jeremy Meeks of the world, where you can be a criminal in jail and your mugshot gets you the chance to marry a billionaire. Like that level of attractiveness. I have met a few people like that here who were sort of like that. I don't have to treat anybody any kind of way because I'm Jeremy Meeks. So there are so many infuriating episodes of Divorce Camp. Have you guys seen any of these episodes? Which episodes did you see that you thought were just crazy? Let me know down below. And if there's any episodes that you want me to like go through and share about, then let me know down below, because I have a really fun time watching this show with my husband. Let me tell you, watching these divorce shows has improved my marriage so much, because these little small things that I thought were important are not important, okay? My husband is an angel. So compared to this stuff, my issues are not issues. I have seen the lights. I have realized And he better watch these shows and realize that having IBS and farting is not that big of an issue either. And don't forget, if you're someone who has a habit that you are trying to break, that you go to tryfume.com/MeganMoon, use code MeganMoon, or scan the QR code on the screen so that you can try Fume out today. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more videos, please subscribe to my YouTube page, which is down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like me on Facebook, and I will see ya.